Hello, everyone. Good morning. And it's a pleasure to welcome you in this forum, in this panel discussion. So, which is kind of based on workforce readiness, building cognitive critical thinking and code analysis skills in the era of artificial intelligence. Now, as some of you are pretty regular to these sessions, so you know that like we have been having a series of sessions in the last few months. Now, there had been diverse sessions that we have been conducting, sometime panel discussion, sometime fireside chat, sometime training series, uh, sometimes we are having some lightning talk, right, etc., etc. But the main intention is to learn and share. Now, in the last few weeks, we have been doing a series of sessions, which is kind of focusing on evolution of artificial intelligence and how it is impacting our industry, right? Typically IT or non-IT industry, irrespective of that. So we started our series with how AI is evolving in the different type of industry. So that was a panel discussion. So then we had a great fireside chat conversation, which was more focusing on how the leadership is evolving in the AI era, because people are thinking that only the technical folks need to evolve, but how the leadership role is also evolving in this era. That is something we have learned. Then in the last sessions, what we heard are about that the process part, the executional part, right? Because Agile is a norm. So how Agile and AI, can marry together and can, start their journey together. That is something what we have learned. Now, when we are talking about execution, one of the very important parameter that is going to come, that is the workforce readiness. And we are at this moment of history where AI is no longer a futuristic concept. It is a present day co-worker. So it's like any other co-worker, AI is also part of our journey. Now, whether you are a technical person, whether you are a business person, whether you're an HR, security, IT support person, AI is shaping your decision, your workflow, and even how you learn. So AI is kind of having a lot of influence in our mind. Now, if I consider the resource management group, typically what we call it as an RMG, they are the backbone of the IT industry in terms of demand and supply. And this demand and supply has also undergone a huge evolution, in the past few decades. Now, if I take a step back, in the age of, or maybe decade of 1990s, where people are mostly focusing on the COBOL, client server, internet emergence, etc. Then in the era of 2000 and in the decade of 2000, people were focusing more on Java, J2E, web, outsourcing, ERP systems, and of course SAP. And then from 2010 onwards, again there was a paradigm shift. People started moving towards cloud, mobile, big data, agile, DevOps, full stack engineer. So the need of the industry is continuously evolving, and the workforce readiness is becoming a very important parameter to support the demand. Now, of late, from 2020, we are seeing there is a shift again, where people are focusing, industries focusing towards AI, automation, cybersecurity, remote work tools, So these are, so as AI is continuing to transform how decisions are made, how problems are solved, how the information is processed, how data are analyzed. So organizations are rapidly reevaluating what it means to be workforce ready. Now, people have a misconception always that the technical people, are only needed to be transformed, but that's not the case. Now, the ability to think critically, adapt cognitively, and analyze both human and machine-generated logic is becoming, central to the workforce effectiveness. Now, this panel explores how the organizations can build a future-ready workforce. I know that in different organizations, they are investing heavily, on this workforce readiness. In my organization, they have been spending around millions of dollars in getting the entire list of people, starting from the CXO level to the granular level. Everyone is being enabled, to drive AI. And for different level of people, we are conducting different type of courses. We are giving them a lot of sandbox environment, and I'm sure all industry or all big organizations are doing the same. There is nothing big deal here. But one that is not digitally, like, what is the intent of it? Just to not to get them digitally literate, but also to make them intellectually agile. Now, we will hear from our leaders, our esteemed panelists, that who are shaping strategy to upskill employees, embed cognitive flexibility, and the most importantly, democratize understanding of the code and algorithm. Again, there is a catch. People are thinking that only the technical team member need to understand the algorithm. Trust me, everyone, all of us. Because unless we understand what is happening behind the scene, we all know that there is a LinkedIn is influencing us, right? Amazon is influencing our buying decision, right? Zomato is influencing, or Swiggy is influencing our eating options, right? Everything we are getting influenced with. But unless we understand what is happening right behind the scene, it becomes very difficult. So, irrespective of whether we are a technical people or business people, right, or support people, everyone should learn, right, to understand how the decisions are being made, what algorithms are being. We are not supposed to do the coding for sure, but at least we should be knowing how things are going to be, right, how things are processed behind the scene. Now, another very important part, right, that we need to understand that as AI is evolving, as the machine is becoming more and more intelligent, the demand for the human intelligence is not going far away, right? It is also evolving. And that is the only silver lining that we are seeing, that yes, we are not going to be extinct, even if there is a lot of buzzword that AI is going to take away all our jobs. But remember, guys, the employers are not looking for the people who know AI. They are looking for the people who can challenge the AI decision, who can question it and work alongside it. Now, let me explain a little bit here. Now, many times, right, we are conducting a lot of meetings, and we know that these days the transcripts are auto-generated. And we take this transcript, I put it into the chat GPT, you will get the synopsis of the data. It can create a great blog, it can create a good MOM, etc., etc. But unless and until you really look and read before posting it, you may be missing out something, because there may be something incorrectly put there. And I've experienced that many a time, that the entire meaning of the conversation is going in a different direction unless you put your right intelligence out there. There are many things which are also missed out. And whenever I was asking, can you please give me an insight on this part? And it is giving me the same information from the same transcript, but initially it was not giving. So basically what we are trying to say is we need to understand how can we get a better response. So we should be challenging. We should not be by default accepting the result, but we should challenge. We should make it more refined, and then we will be able to get a better response. So today we are going to unpack this evolution, right, with our expert panelists. We'll dive into the workforce readiness, what truly that means in the AI-driven world, how cognitive and critical thinking are becoming the core competency, and why even non-tech professionals may need to understand how the algorithms think. So without no further delay, I would like to introduce our esteemed list of panelists today, right? So I'll start with Dr. Debatri Chatterjee. So she's a senior scientist at TCS Research, over 20 years of experience. Her work focuses on physiological signal processing for human cognition and behavior sensing. She holds more than 30 granted patents across India, the US, and the UK, and published over 100 papers in leading tier 1 conferences. So welcome, Debatri Chatterjee, right in our discussion. Now, I would like to go to our next panelist, Chandrima Ganguly. So she's a director of digital transformation in NTT Data. So Chandrima is a digital transformation leader with 18 years of experience in driving automation, AI adoption, and innovation across industry. She specializes in leveraging technologies like RPA, agentic AI, and Gen AI to enhance the efficiency, reduce operational risks, and deliver measurable business value. So she is a certified PMP, RMP, TOGAF, and Six Sigma Black Belt professional. Chandrima brings a strategic blend of technical expertise and business acumen to every transformation journey. Thank you so much, Chandrima, right, to be our panelist in today's discussion. And welcome. And the final one, right, Swati. So she's a delivery manager at Accenture. So Swati comes up with, right, around 20 years of experience, delivery experience. Now she's currently playing the role of delivery manager at Accenture. And she's having a diverse experience in the IT industry, spanning multiple domains, roles, and industry verticals. She brings extensive expertise in project, program, and the portfolio governance, along with financial and contract management, quality, risk oversight, and driving value through innovation and sustainability initiatives. Currently, she oversees Azure data delivery for clients across Europe and the APAC region, ensuring high impact outcomes and seamless execution. And I will be moderating the session. Myself, Shubhabroto Pal, you all can call me Shubho. Right, I'm currently, right, acting as a director in CGI, director expert position. And I have, right, over 22 years of IT experience and specialize in enterprise level agile transformation and AI agile transformation with a strong background in leading, managing, consulting, and driving enterprise-wide agile initiative. I have worked, transformed large accounts in several reputed organizations. So with this, we'll get into the discussion. So what we have done today, we have divided these overall panel discussions into 4 rounds. So in the first round, we are going to explore what are the foundations of the workforce readiness. So let's begin by grounding ourselves. What does readiness actually mean when AI is reshaping how we think, learn, and work? So I would like to start with Chandrima today. So Chandrima, how would you define the workforce readiness in the context of AI augmented world?
Hi, Shubha. First of all, thank you for inviting me into this wonderful panel and the discussion, which is the in thing in the market and is the buzzword of the world. As we all know that AI has taken a huge kind of structure, and everybody is talking about AI, be it a person, as you just rightly said, that be it a technical person or a functional person or even somebody, even a kid as well, is like aware of what AI. Okay, but what AI is, maybe might not be they are completely in depth. They have the awareness of it. But yes, as you just asked me this particular question, getting back to it, that how we need to define or how we need to make ourselves ready in the workforce in this particular era of AI augmented world. So it is now at this point in time, it's far beyond the traditional concepts or the stereotypical concepts of skills and qualifications, what it used to be before. So when it refers to the ability of the individuals and the organization, that how efficiently it is adopting and it is blending into the AI technologies or in the environment of AI technologies, and understanding the AI technology in terms of workflows, decision makings, and problem solving. So how it is getting done or how we are able to interpret the AI technology in terms of getting into with it hands in hand, trying to function with the AI technology and understanding it, decoding it, or as I would like to say that critically analyzing it, not just blindly believing what it is throwing up onto us. So that is the kind of readiness that workforce readiness needs to be, or rather, I would define as a workforce readiness for any of the organization.
Absolutely, absolutely. Can't agree more on that. Thank you so much for stressing upon on the ability to question, ability to challenge, every response that we are getting and not blindly trusting on that. Fantastic. Now moving to Swati. So Swati, in your organization, I know that your organization is actively investing in the skill building, for that matter, any organization. So can you share some real world examples of how are you upskilling employees in areas like critical thinking, cognitive adaptability, or even basic code fluency? Shwati, over to you.
Yeah, sorry, I was unable to unmute. So, see, Accenture, it has a diverse portfolio, right? And it employs a multi-dimensional strategy to upskill its workforce or cross-skill its workforce in generative AI and agentic AI, right? So we have our own portal like called LearnVantage, which is one such platform which was launched in March 2024. Okay. And it's an AI native platform which actually designed to help its existing workforce and even its related clients to reskill themselves into agentic AI learnings, cloud, cybersecurity, and various other, top edge technology shifts, right? Along with that, there are several partnership and ownership that Accenture has, planned as per its strategic decision making. Right, we have partnered with NDIGIA, and which actually the main focus is to using or leveraging NDIGIA's AI native softwares. Also, utilizing Accenture's, implementation expertise and then make it very much usable to the clients that Accenture is doing a business with, right? Other than that, in terms of learning, if you ask, we have our, Accenture India, it hosts this Gen AI Academy, which we have identified 12 very niche roles, right? Which are very much AI related. Like we are introducing full stack LLM engineering role, right? AI ML computational science, then responsible AI architecture. So all these learnings we are providing or offering to the workforce where it's we have a very strategic learning pathway, Shubho, where employees can get what is their current proficiencies. They can identify which role they want to migrate and identify which proficiency they want to achieve. And then through a tailored GenAI pathway, they can get themselves educated and aware of that. Other than that, in terms of acquiring, we have acquired various, learning providers, like Udacity is one of them. We have purchased them or acquired them in April 2024. It is known for its, cutting edge technology learning options. Okay. So now what the strategy behind this acquiring is we will be leveraging over 100, 4,000 experts under Udacity who will create and the vast library of the cutting edge learning portals, right? Which we will leverage to make our, workforce ready with how to use the Gen AI or agentic AI and take their discussion further with when we will be doing sale while delivered to business. So yeah, that's what Accenture is driving through
Excellent.
agentic
Yeah,
AI.
as expected, like an organization like Accenture, right, should be doing right a lot of and it will be kind of focusing on our right all the avenues possible, right, to get their workforce ready because that's the need of the hour, right? Absolutely, can't agree more. Now, going to Debatri, so building a resilient, future-ready workforce often start with accessing the current one. So my question to you is, how can organizations gauge and enhance the cognitive agility and adaptability within their teams? What is the how can we what is the process?
Uh, Shubhra, first of all, first we must understand this cognitive agility or adaptability. It is not just a skill. It is a conglomeration of different behaviors like emotional regulation. We have to maintain our focus and we have to remain calm. Then our behavioral flexibility. And so it's a mental flexibility of how we adapt to our changing environment. So it is not just important for different industry, but also it is important for our life. It is how we face the challenges in our real life with focus, calmness, and confidence. So this skill is very important for all the industry, like not just for technology related thing, as also you mentioned. In industries who focus on technologies, there is market shift, and then there is technology shift that is there. Even teachers, social workers, firefighters, players in sports, they all have to have these mental agility to face different situations. Now, in organizations, when we hire people, in some organization, in most of them, there are some pre-placement or pre-employment assessments. So in these assessments, they focus on checking the thought process, or the behavior, or the flexibility, how we are doing it. So that is there. And also in existing employees, there are regular feedback sessions. There is a 360-degree feedback system, which acquire feedback from our juniors, peers, and seniors, so that they can have full-fledged or all perspective of all the uh, people who are related to me. So that is there. And then performance monitoring is there. And also in industries, we arrange different targeted training sessions, where these training sessions, they mostly focus on debates and discussion. So these are not scripted things, like, and these in these debates and discussions and role playing, and then very scenario based learning. And we also make people work with employees of different field and different departments, so that they can have a broader perspective of any problem, or it broadens our thought process. So yeah, these are some of the approaches that are taken in the industry to assess and improve the cognitive agility of the
Wonderful,
employees.
wonderful. Now, I still remember, Devatri, if you, I'm sure like all of you can appreciate that those who have been there in the IT for quite some time, when we, when we were kind of going out of college and sitting for the interview, right, as a fresher, at least I remember in TCS, there used to be a psychometric test,
Yes,
right?
those are the pre-employment
Correct.
assessment tests.
Right.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
that time we were not thinking about this cognitive and other thing, but like I could easily connect, like when you said that, yeah, whenever there is a placement talk, etc., happening, that time, right, we are also kind of evaluating their attitude, their behavior, their
Yes.
mindset, etc. I still remember the same type of questions they were repeating, right, but in different context, right, so that they can understand, validate whether my mind is actually focusing towards that, or it was just by mistake I selected something, right? They wanted to
Yes.
check our consistency of right thought process. No, fantastic. Thank you so much. Okay, so now we have covered one dimension, right? That is the foundation of the workforce readiness. Now we would like to move to the next dimension, that is called shifting mindset and the hiring priorities. Now, as I was stating in my initial context, that the resource management group, right, or the recruitment group is also playing a major role out here. So my first question, so let us now talk about evolving mindset of the hiring and the development. Is the focus moving away from just qualification and towards more thinking ability, right? That should be our discussion focus area. So now I would like to start with again Chandrima this time. So Chandrima, from your lens, are hiring managers today shifting their focus from degrees and credentials to skills like critical thinking and cognitive flexibility? Could we please shed some light around that?
Absolutely, Shubho. I would definitely agree on this that in today's era, as things have moved quite, in a paradigm shift to what it was before, um, hiring managers are looking more into, critical thinking, thought process, and cognitive flexibility when it comes to hiring, rather than just focusing on the degrees and all. Because as per the data that we see, there are many organizations, almost 25% of the thought process, I mean, of the organizations have dropped the thought process of just going with the degrees in terms of hiring. When it comes to hiring, rather they are focusing more on cognitive ability and the critical thinking and the decision making. How we are able to think critically, how we are able to analyze the data, strategically thinking out of the box and thinking a bit differently than the just following the stereotypical thought process what we used to do before. So that is something at the moment. It's shifting the skill based. It's more into skill based hiring, I would say, to focus more on critical and cognitive ability, which is the demanding thing at the moment.
Wonderful, wonderful. Now, again, coming back to Devatri, because you have been working in this area for quite some time. So there is often a debate around whether critical thinking is innate or teachable. Do you believe that it can be cultivated at scale? And if so, how do we measure its impact in the real workplace?
The good thing is critical thinking is not just a trait, it's a skill. It involves our logical reasoning ability, problem solving, logical thinking, and evaluation, how we evaluate, and our perspective. So it is a trait. It's not a trait, it's a skill, and it can be learned through practice. Now, there are different techniques that can help in developing these techniques, these skill, like engaging in debates and discussions. And first thing is we should be open-minded while discussing with someone about anything. We should be open-minded. We should not think that whatever I am thinking is the right one.
Correct.
So that open-mindedness is very important. And then the second thing is we should learn to ask questions.
Correct.
So, and these questions, these are not just questions. We should learn how to ask a better question and a correct question.
Right.
So that is also important. And then scenario-based learning and involving in role playing, those are very important for developing the critical thinking. And the thing is, during our student life, we never heard or thought about this kind of thing. But when we joined industry, we came across these kind of learning system. But the thing is, these things should be started as early as possible.
Absolutely.
So if it would be better if we can start it from second grade or third grade students, that would be the best. But unfortunately, our education system, they focus mostly on memorizing the facts and information rather than developing these critical thinking or problem solving or logical reasoning skills. So yeah, that is the problem. But yeah, I mean, it's a skill and it can be developed.
Okay, great. Now, I can easily relate, right, your answer, right, what you said as a prerequisite whenever we are actually going to use AI. I'm sure like all of us here are kind of familiar with the prompt engineering. Now, that is also a skill. Now, many people ask this question that, okay, we have been given same problem. Now, we are using the same ChatGPT version, but one person is getting a better answer, another person is not getting that good answer. Now, what is the difference between that? Why?
So that is the asking the right question.
That is the asking the right question and counter questioning, right? Now,
yes.
I have seen that many cases, right? I start with a question, basic question, and based on the response, I still ask my more refined questions so that I can get a right filtered and a better response, right, coming out of it. So challenging. So not only trusting on that, but also challenging, as you rightly said, framing the right prompt. And that's the reason that itself is a skill, right? People are thinking, what is the big deal? It's just a question. No, it's not just a question, right? How to frame that question so that you can get a proper response, right? Which can give you better mileage. That's also a skill, right? Absolutely, right? Now, coming to Swati now. So, Swati, would you recommend to organizations looking for a low cost or high impact ways to build this essential thinking ability or skills? What do you think?
Oh, of course, there is no debate on that. So, organization should, so as Debarati correctly mentioned, right, we will not come with this cognitive thinking abilities, right? It needs to be built. Okay. And I believe organizations should set up more workshops to enable their workforce on this cognitive thinking. There are various tools, as similarly echoing Debarati, as she mentioned, there are many ways like getting themselves into debates. There are also open source tools like Socratic questioning practice, as an example. Then there are Think Aloud. Okay, these are some protocols through which we can ask learners to verbalize their thoughts when solving a problem, okay, or analyzing a text. So these will uncover faulty logic that they are thinking in their mind, or the strong reasoning, which are the strong reasonings for their thought process, which are backing their decisions, right? Uh, just as an example, Socratic questioning practice or these kind of cognitive thinking building tools, what they do is like there are series of open-ended questions, okay, which has been offered or asked to the learners, where they can come up these they can come up with their answers, and then the subsequent question based on their previous answers is, with a non-judgmental way, so that the learners are not getting suppressed or getting conservative while answering to those questions. And these cognitive ability through this questioning, we are shifting or deliberate perspective shifting, where regularly assigning tasks where they have to think from a different stakeholder's point of view, okay, and
Right.
then reframe a particular problem statement. So, like student versus teacher, how will
Correct.
you act or ask questions if you are a teacher, not a student?
Correct.
How customer versus developer,
Right.
right? So all this perspective shifting and then thinking a problem from this various perspective will help build the cognitive thinking among the existing workforce.
Correct.
Along with that, I think Shubho, like basic code fluency, block-based coding tools, these
Mhm.
also are the enabler for this particular aspect.
No, no, absolutely, absolutely. Now, apart from the, if even if I kind of keep the AI part aside, now what exactly you said, that what is customer centricity? Customer centricity is getting into their shoes to understand their problem better. And we know about a lot of design thinking tools, right? Empathy mapping. So where we try to put ourselves in a customer's shoes, try to understand their pain, and unless I put, like as you rightly said, we need to understand every right people's perspective, right? Then we can get a kind of better
Mm.
result, right? Then we can get a better thought process. Fantastic. Now we have covered two dimensions. One is the foundation of the workforce readiness, and the second one is shifting mindset and the hiring priorities. Now, coming to our third lens, right, rethinking skills in the age of AI assistance. So, with the tools like ChatGPT, Copilot, and automated code generators becoming mainstream. In fact, Facebook already said we do not need, like moving forward, we do not need any developers. AI will generate all our code. So, we need to ask what skills are truly irreplaceable. Let's unpack how critical thinking and even AI literacy are taking the center stage. So, my question to Chondrima would be, in the age of ChatGPT, AI Copilot, and many other tools, is critical thinking more important than the technical expertise, or they can go hand in hand, right? What is your thought process here?
Well, Shubho, according to me, both technical and critical thinking is equally important when we are looking into it and when we are thinking of blending ourselves with the AI generated world and the technology. But yes, of course, arguably, it is, if I have to put more emphasis, critical thinking is definitely more important, is taking a kind of a center stage when it comes to working with AI enabled workforce. So and why is it so? There are certain areas which I would like to touch base, as in uh, we see AI is already handling those technical tasks, right? So these it's giving us the output in when it comes to technical tasks. So that ways, when the output when we are getting it, uh, we need critical thinking to analyze it. We just can't be biasedly depending on those outputs. So that's where the critical thinking is coming into the play, and it's taking front foot. And then decision making in uncertain situations. AI is just giving me the predictions, but it just cannot, I just cannot fully keep AI accountable for everything, as in can't expect AI to take decisions the way we human can take
Correct.
decisions in terms of how critically we need to, because there are certain exceptions also, based on our judgment,
Right.
situation, scenarios. That's something is a human work. So
Correct.
AI is there to enable human and not just human to fall prey of for AI and depend completely. So
Right.
that's where the critical thinking is more important. Adaptability and problem solving. AI is giving me that particular thing. It is saving my time to enabling me to think better. That's
Mhm.
how I would take it when it comes to critical thinking. Now, coming to, you might ask me that, okay, why am I giving equal weightage to technical skill set? Because
Mhm.
unless and until the person has the technical skill set or has some technical limitations, so they will not be able to understand the algorithm of AI limitations. As you
Correct.
just said in the beginning of the setting context, that Swiggy is giving us, some kind of, uh, 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 preferences, or maybe we get to see in some of the shopping platforms that we are getting certain preferences coming onto our page. So how it is coming, what is the algorithm that is working? So that's something, if we know about the technology and how the AI is working, we get to understand the algorithm in which the AI is working. So that's number one, where technical skill is taking a lead. And of course, integration with human insight, as in rightly asking the question, as in rightly prompting AI with what exactly I need, and knowing that how AI is going to interpret my question and give the answer to me. So that's where the technical skill comes into play.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, again, when you said that there is a right balance, right, between the critical thinking and the technical skills, right? Definitely, technical skill is not going to go away from that context. Like when we started our career, that time, right? Let's say I was a kind of Java developer, and I was kind of confused. Okay, how to solve this problem? And our technical team lead just said, सब मिल जाएगा internet में, right? Don't worry. But the point is, yes, we could find out a solution that, okay, how, let's say I need to set up a network, right? How can I access a network? How can I send an email from my code? I am getting an immediate, right, ready-made code from the Google that, okay, this is the email dispatcher code or whatever, email sender code or something like that. But question is, can I really use it as it is in my code? No, right? I need to do a little bit of customization. And for that, I need to have that technical ability, unless and until I know the basic language. It
Where
would be
you need
just
to
Hebrew for
the
me.
tweaking,
Absolutely.
where the
Correct?
tweaking needs to be done and how it needs to be done.
Exactly. So today
Using the
AI is
proper
giving,
syntax.
correct. Today AI is giving me the code. But unless I know what is the context of my code, right, where I need to fit that in, right, I'll not be able to use it. So, absolutely, there should be a right balance between the critical thinking and the technology. Thank you so much, Chandrima. Now, coming to Shati again, that for employees in the non-technical roles, right, we have been debating, we have been discussing a lot that not only the technical people, right, that we need to enable our non-technical people like HR, marketing, finance, and many others. So how important it is today to understand the concept like algorithm models and the basic code logic. So do they, because when we were teaching, right, or we were taking some sessions, that people are kind of afraid, the HR guys, oh, do we need to understand the coding? Do we need to learn the Python coding? Right? How this decision, Shubha, you are taking up a right decision tree algorithm session for us. Do I need to understand the technical background of it? I get a feedback. Can you arrange for a session where there is no technical thing is not required? So my question is, to keep it simple, how important is it for the non-technical employees to understand the code, algorithm, or AI models today? Over to you.
Okay, it's a very relevant question, right? I mean, as I see you laughing already because you have been getting this the most one, right? It's to my point and to from my organization's point of view, it is no doubt non-technical employees also needs to understand code and algorithm. But it depends on the extent of knowing this will depends on the role, industry, or the company goals the individual belongs to, honestly, right? Because see, non-technical roles like content writer, HR, then sales and marketing professional. They have to interact with engineers or data scientists who will be talking into the AI language, right? So it will be to having a smoother conversation with them and to understand what they are trying to portray. It is important for them to understand the AI ML to a certain extent, right? Like
Right.
also, if you say informed decision making, so it's another benefit of AI literacy.
Mm-hmm.
Many decisions today we need to take when we have to, interpreting AI dashboards,
Right.
AI recommendations, right? So without having a right grasp of how these AI recommendations are coming, we will overtrust the system and we will be misusing them, right? It is very important for all the non-technical employees to understand the risk, understand the bias, understand
Absolutely.
the limitation of these tools, right? The reason they want to know this to a certain extent is this is a competitive environment, Shubho,
Correct.
right? And it
Mm-hmm.
will definitely give them an extra edge if, the business value employees who can bridge the gap between
Right.
technical and non-technical domains. These translators are often a very key to this innovation, Shubho. So they have to learn, but again, it can be categorized into could have, must have, or, uh, that should have kind of necessity based on the
Moscow.
role they are performing. Yes, yes, Moscow rules.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, absolutely, absolutely. So even if they do not really want to get into the kind of coding, they may be using some template, right? Which may be right having the underlying formula, right? Which is hidden, but
Lot of enabler. Yes,
correct,
lot of
correct,
enabler. I'll
correct.
I'll probably explain if the chance get like there are
Sure.
enablers. They don't need to know the coding at all.
Correct,
So,
correct, correct. But at least they should understand the logic behind that so that whenever someone
true.
is questioning them, let's say simple thing, right? An appraisal system. Now, HR does not build like the HR professional does not build that kind of template. Of course not. But what is the logic behind that? They should know. Otherwise, how will they address the project managers or the people managers question, right? So, what is the decision taken, right? What percentage of RTO compliance, right? I'm bringing a debating, right, point here, right? What percentage of RTO compliance should be factored into as a weightage, right? They should know that. Otherwise, they will not be able to. They will fall flat, right, when the discussion comes in. No, absolutely correct. Now, again, coming to Debatri, as we double down on the framework for cognitive and critical thinking, are we potentially underplaying the role of emotional intelligence in the AI age?
Uh, Yes, to some extent, yes. We are actually, if we over rely on these AI frameworks and platforms and all, then we lose our own ability of critical thinking, problem solving that is there. And the more we depend on these AI and these the templates and platforms, we trust less on ourselves, on
Correct.
our own judgment.
Right.
So our confidence, self confidence, is getting hampered.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a very let's take an example now with these calculators and smartphones and Google Maps and all. So we are losing our basic some fundamental skills like navigation,
Correct.
mental calculation and all. So we can see if we go to a market, the fish seller, he can calculate faster than me.
Correct. Absolutely.
So these are brain is also a muscle. We need
Correct.
and we have to have some exercises, and it has to do some exercises to remain strong.
Correct.
But yeah, I mean, these skills are definitely getting declined and hampered. And another thing is
Mm-hmm.
empathy, self-awareness, social interaction. So these emotional intelligence is still not there in AI systems.
Absolutely.
So and these are something which are required in each and every field.
Mhm.
So for leaders, for our team members, and from granular level to the CXO level, interpersonal skills and improving the innovation, motivating their teams, and building a good environment within the team, those kind of things. So regulating emotions, these are something which are required for each and every individual,
Mhm.
not only in the industry, in our real life also we need these qualities. So that is what makes us human. So
Agree.
until and unless these AI is still not there, it can depict the emotion, but it
Mhm.
cannot feel the empathy.
Correct.
And so it is difficult to connect if you don't have these kind of qualities.
Right.
So yeah, that is very important. And yeah, so AI is still not there. So maybe that is the silver lining for us.
Right. We are still finding ourselves relevant, right, in that area, of
Yes,
course.
yes, yes, yes.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So we are almost coming to our final round. So let's explore the intersection of AI literacy, ethics, and the human oversight. So how do we train the people, right? Not just to use AI, but also to challenge AI whenever it is needed, right? As we discussed. So Chondrima, again coming back to you, right? Um, how can we prepare the workforce to recognize bias, question AI outputs, and ensure the ethical use of algorithmic decisions?
Right, Shubho. So, preparing the workforce to recognize bias, question AI outputs, and ensure ethical use of algorithm decisions it actually requires a multidimensional strategy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so which I can say that it needs a combination of AI literacy program, bias
Mm-hmm.
awareness training like data bias,
Mm-hmm.
confirmation bias, algorithm bias, and also we had been talking about all throughout that critical thinking and analytical skill, enhancing that some kind of
Mm-hmm.
training programs on that area as well. Also, a hands-on experience is something really important to understand how the AI works and how I can make the best use of AI for my work. So hands-on experience is definitely imperative. And last but not the least, continuous learning culture is something that we need to imbibe within us because AI is ever evolving. It's
Mm-hmm.
going on evolving. So change is the only constant.
Right.
And to stay abreast with this particular changing environment and thrive and strive, we need to keep continuously learning the things the way things are moving.
Excellent. Excellent. Okay. Now going to Swati, right? Swati, not everyone is a developer, but many are using tools powered by the code. So what strategies work best when teaching code analysis or debugging logic from the non-programmers? Kind of a similar question, but it's more on the kind of ethical part, logical part of it.
Yes. Okay. So, teaching code analysis and debugging logic to non-programmers, they can be highly effective, but with the right focus. When I
Mm-hmm.
say that, I means that it has to be logical thinking. It needs to be focused on pattern recognition, problem solving, without thinking about syntax barriers at
Mm-hmm.
all, right? So to enable that, there are many open source tools, honestly, Shubho, in the market.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
to name some is like Scratch, Blockly. Then we have Tony Debugger. So just to take an example of Blockly, which is a open source visual programming tools.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, which has been giving us the platform. Like it is simply a block-based programming. That kind of a maze, a workspace has been given.
Mm-hmm.
You can just drag and drop correlated blocks. And
Mm-hmm.
what it is enabling you is enabling your thought process, cognitive
Mm-hmm.
thinking, and problem solving ability,
Right.
right? So it is, you don't have to think about or need to bound yourself to know a particular coding language. It will
Correct.
generate the background code. It could be Python, it could be JavaScript,
Right.
depending on the necessity. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Then you can get the code. The programmers can get the code and do the correct due diligence, do the modification based on your specific customer need. But from a non-coder point of view, with their cognitive and problem solving ability, they can simply drag and drop those with these visual providers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Also, we need to introduce them into common bug patterns, because they need to also understand the infinite loops which gets
Correct.
involved into coding. They need to understand wrong variable updates,
Mm-hmm.
misplaced conditions, all those faulty logics they also have to be quite aware of, right? We can use guided error hunt is another
Mm.
platform which will teach all these non-coders how to identify bugs, because they
Correct.
are not going to write control F5 and find write a run a debugger and find. It is not the way we want them to perform,
Correct.
right? So these are some of the examples, Shubho. I think that organization should explore, because
Mm.
all them are open source, just
Right.
to check whether how secure they are to
Exactly.
integrate with the enterprise-wide availability. But they, I think, at least the Google's one is very trustworthy, because I've seen a lot of usage across organizations.
Correct. So only thing is, like as you rightly said at the end, that the data security and the privacy, right? So whether, right, there should not be any data breach whenever I am putting my logic. It's my, right, IP. So it should not go out, right? So we should be putting our security teams should be putting the right firewall, so that, right, our information should not go outside the right company firewall, right, etc. So in that case, I think we can definitely make use of it. Fantastic. Okay, so coming to our final question for today, right, from the panelists, and after that we can take few questions. So the audience may, right, think about some questions, right, for our panelists. So Debatri, as AI begins outperforming human in some domains, do you really believe we should still invest in teaching people to critically evaluate machine decisions, and why does it matter?
Yeah, Shubho, in some cases, in some fields, definitely AI is a better decision maker than
Mm-hmm.
humans.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, see, AI and human, we make decisions differently. So for
Correct.
AI, it is mostly based on the training data that we are providing.
Mm-hmm.
So based on the training data, it tries to find a pattern
Mm-hmm.
and then predict the outcome or take the decision.
Mm-hmm.
For human, it is like we rely on our intuition, our
Correct.
past experiences, then our perception of
Mm-hmm.
a particular problem, and then our context.
Mm-hmm.
Context is also very important, which
Mm-hmm.
AI does not always take into account.
Mm-hmm.
So human and AI, they take decisions differently.
Mm-hmm.
So for AI, when we are handling, say, large amount of data, in that case, AI is very efficient and it outperforms human.
Correct.
Say, for example, in finance,
Mm-hmm.
in retail, like inventory management or product recommendation. So when there is a huge amount of data and we have to analyze the data, find a pattern, in that case, AI is definitely better than human. And
Correct.
human is, because human, we are prone to errors,
Right.
and AI, in these cases, AI always predict the same outcome.
Mm-hmm.
For human, it might be different for different scenarios or different sessions.
Mm-hmm.
So in those cases, AI is better.
Mm-hmm.
But in some cases, like where there is an ethical issue or some unpredictability,
Mm-hmm.
or some understanding of the context, or some social norms, in those cases human intelligence is required, because
Right.
AI is it's not a genuine intelligence.
Right.
So it is and emotional awareness is also there. So in those cases human intervention is very much required. Say, for example, in healthcare,
Right.
AI can help us or doctors to diagnose the disease, maybe
Correct.
based on the symptoms and all. So it can help the doctor to diagnose the disease, but the doctor finally has to finalize the treatment plan
Correct.
based on the patient's requirement, his ability, and his mental well-being, everything. So overall thing, so the ultimate decision where it comes to analyzing the context, analyzing the emotion, analyzing the environment, there human intelligence is required. And another thing is, most of our decisions are made unconsciously.
Right.
Say, for example, we are not always, we cannot tell why we are liking a particular color or a particular pattern. If you ask someone, why do you like blue? And he might not be able to explain why he is liking the blue.
Correct.
And it also depends on the thing, like say your favorite color is black, but when it comes to your dress or a shirt, maybe you don't like black, but you like a black car, but you don't like a black shirt. So, and if you ask why so, in most of the cases we won't be able to explain why so. So if we don't understand the logic behind these decisions, we cannot code them in AI.
No, absolutely.
So in those cases, human intervention is still required, and human decision making is still critical over AI. So yes, for repetitive works and data-driven applications, there AI is a better decision maker. But when it comes to intuition, our ethical judgment, and then adaptability or strategic foresight, there human is a better decision maker than AI.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you so much. So that brings us to the end of the discussion for today. First of all, thank you so much to our panelists, for giving us a lot of insight, around that. Now, I would just open it up for our audience, if you have any question, for our panelists, feel free to ask. Okay, if there is no question, then so as we leave the session, a few themes stand out clearly. That AI may be rewriting the rules of the work, but human thinking, cognitive, critical, and ethical remains central. Upskilling is no longer just technical, it is strategic, inclusive, and behavioral as well. And perhaps the most importantly, our ability to question, interpret, and guide AI responsibility will define not just our career, but our collective future. Thank you so much once again, and we look forward for seeing you in the future sessions. Thank you so much. Take care.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Shubhrata.